This is Sincere Milk, Lions Den. My name is Yahweh Sap. I camp out with Lions Den Yashuwada in Jacksonville, Florida. I'd like to say a prayer to the Father, to the Son, to the elders, to the Archiums, to the women and children. Ka Harayam La Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Ba'Hashem Ha Rodash Kodash Mark for praise to Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai, in spirit and holy and truth. Double honors to the elders of GMS. Double honors to my elder Aaron Wong. Salutations to the Archims who are on the four corners of the earth in sincerity and truth. And to the women and children, Shalom. I hope that I'll be able to do this lesson. To a lot of stuff going on, and hopefully I can put it all in this lesson. Before I start the lesson, I always show this book because it's important. We're living in an era of emerging viruses, right? So there's a private investigator from Harvard, graduated from Harvard, right? Independent investigator. And I had the honor of meeting him in the 90s, did business with him here in America, and I did business with him in Aruba as well. And there's the book, right? It has documents, proof, how they've been spraying, right, viruses. And in the hospitals, and schools, and churches, and subways, okay? I'll do my best to remember, see if it fits under the beat. I'll put in the indication. Before I start, the title of this lesson is called Save from Sin to Life, okay? I just want to bring something out that came out there. One of my brothers sent me in the group. It's called Florida Set to Release Swarms of Mosquitoes, GMS mosquitoes. They're going to throw them over there at Key West. And guess who is in charge of it? Who's paying for that? Bill Gates. Yeah. He said he wants to try it out over there and see what happens. Don't know what's going to happen, but hey. Okay? It's crazy that now corporations, right, want to inject these mosquitoes, we don't know with what, okay, and then say that it's to help us. It's crazy, okay? Anyway, let me see if I can move along and do this with the spirit of Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai. Here it goes now. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 1 and 5. Let's see if I can bring this. All right, verse 1. And you have made alive who were dead in trespass and sins. Okay? Verse 5. Even when we were dead in trespasses, made us alive together with Yahweh Shai. By grace you have been saved. Okay? Even when we were dead, okay? And you, Jake, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and speckled birds, are still dead, right? Because number one, you don't know his name, even though people out there say his name is not important, For now, I'm just going to say this. You Jakes out there who are married, why don't you call your wife by another name, right? Wait till you're in bed with her. Call her by another name. Let's see what happens with that. See if it's not important. Okay? Just a tryout. Just a tryout. Okay. And now I'm going to move on to Ephesians chapter 4, verse 18. Verse 18, having their understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Yahweh because of the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart, of their mind, right? I mean, you got to realize, that we were born in this wicked world for our, trespassing, breaking the law, right, of Yahweh Shai, of Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai, Shalakia. And we've been taught, we've been indoctrinated, right? We have that slave mentality. And the only way you're going to break it is when you come back to your identity, nationality, and your inheritance. This Bible, this book, belongs only to us, 12 tribes. And it's only this book that will break that program that the Edomites had put in us, right? And we passing it on to our children. It's repeating itself, right? That old saying, history repeats itself. Colossians chapter 2, verse 13. And you being dead in your trespass and the uncircumcision of your flesh, he has made alive together with him, having forgiven you all trespass. Okay? So, just because some are circumcised or uncircumcised, right, doesn't mean that you don't get punished. All right? Because the real circumcised is of the mind, right? Not the flesh. I mean, a lot of people would even talk about baptism, right? They say, yeah, I went to the lake, and went inside and dipped myself in the water. I take a shower every day. Doesn't remove the sins. But, you can keep believing that, right? Just like I'm believing in Santa Claus, believing in Jesus, that blue-eyed, blonde-haired guy who is Caesar Borgia, right? But let me keep concentrating on what I'm doing right here for now. Romans chapter 5, verse 6. Chapter 6, verse 4 and 5. So, okay. 6, verse... Oh, I got to do this. There we go. Okay, it was... Oh, Slack, it was chapter 5, verse 6. Yeah, that was right. Here we go, verse 6, then verse 8. For when we were still within strength, in due time Yahweh Shai died for the ungodly. Okay? No different than when you have your brother and your sister join the army, right? They're giving their life. And in their mind, they truly believe they're doing it to what? To save you, right? Brothers and sisters, right? So-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and speckled birds. Okay? They really believe that. Okay? So moving to verse 8, but Yahweh demonstrated his own love towards us, in that while we were still sinners, Yahweh Shai died for us. Still, when you were still sinning. So when you're walking in your daily walk, wherever you are around the world, and you see brothers in the highways and byways as a living sacrifice, you got to remember that part, a living sacrifice. They're calling you, Jakes, so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, and speckled birds, those who have ears to hear, eyes to see, and a heart of understanding, are calling you to wake up, right? Because the mark of the beast, it's around the corner. Even though many different camps say it's not the chip, right? Or it's not important what his name is. Okay, we'll get to that hopefully later. But cashless society is around the corner also. Second shutdown, around the corner also, right? I mean, just Florida, the governor or whoever it was, I forgot his name at this time, just did an extension, right? Executive Emergency Act. 60 days. See what happens after that, right? Moving to Romans chapter 6, verse 4. Therefore we were buried with him through baptism into death, that just as Yahweh was raised from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also shall walk in newness of life. Okay? Once we hear the truth, once we come back into the truth, all we can do is keep going forward. Okay? Some of us gonna die, and we know that. Okay? I mean, just no different than you Jakes who are out there taking the macaroni shot, right? You're aware that, well, it might happen, you know, I might die, right? But you should look into it, now that I'm talking about it, those, you know, nano chips that they're putting in you, right? Artificial, now they call them particles, right? They want to throw you off. They don't want to call it nano chip. Now it's nanoparticles, okay? That are taking over your DNA, your RNA, right? And they're making duplicate artificial cells. So what's going to happen to the organic cells? Something to think about, right? And when I said it, because I used to, just in case it crossed anybody, you know, Jake's mind, who is this guy talking, you know, that way? Well, I used to work in the medical field as a physical therapy assistant. Okay, 15 years. So I heard all the bullshit when they're talking. The language, the lingo, right? The terminology. Very good trick. I'm moving now to Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2. In which you once walked according to the course of this world, according to the princes of the power of the air, the spirit who now works in the sons of disobedience. Yeah, that's what happened. You've been, you know, hypnotized, indoctrinized. Yeah, I mentioned hypnotized, right? Hypnosis, okay? And the only way you're going to break that is coming back to the scripture, okay? And calling by the true name by faith, Yahweh, the Father, He exists, and Yahweh Shai, He delivers, okay? I mean, put it to the test, right? Be consistent and be sincere to the best of your ability. Verse 3, among who also we all once conducted ourselves in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature children of wrath, just as the others. Whew. Yeah. You know, that word wrath, you want to take it very seriously, right? I mean, do you cross the street when a car is coming, or do you cross the street when the car stops? Of course you cross when the car stops. Well, when it says a wrath, you want to become aware what wrath he's talking about. What is it that I should not be doing, that I should stop doing? Going to Galatians chapter 5, verse 16. How come? Okay, give me a minute. Galatians is over here. Chapter 5, verse 16. Verse 16, I say then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. See, when they say walk in the Spirit, a lot of you don't ask yourself what spirit you have in you right now. Do you have the spirit of Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai, or do you have the spirit of the Edomites? Right? Another thing, you Jake women who are having sex with the Edomites, right, getting your back blown out, doing double monkey flips, you start looking into this document that came out now, a study that came out, okay, that now they can prove that when you have so many sperms of different men in your body, that stays in, it goes into your blood, into your DNA. Yeah, it stays in there, okay? And I'll make it a little bit more detailed. If you're doing it through your flower, it stays up here. And if you're doing it through the mouth, it goes up here. So that person you're going to bed with, right, has a demon, that's why he's passing to you. That's how come so many of you Jake women have so many different personalities and so confused. Now you can understand why Yahweh Shai said, you know, you, right, Jake, woman's supposed to be marrying one man. But you should look it up, right? It's important. Romans 6:12. Romans 6:12. Ooh, that was too far. Give me a minute. Romans 6:12. I already did this one. Verse 12 says, therefore do not let sin reign in your mortal body, that you should obey it in its lust. It's letting you know, become aware, start looking into, evaluate, investigate what spirit you have in you. Okay? Because once you do that with the scripture, with the Bible, and you find out, wait a minute, I had all along, I had the wrong spirit in me. Now it's going to show you how to get it out, what you got to do. Go to Romans chapter 8, verse 4. That the righteous requirements of the law might be fulfilled in us, who do not walk according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. See? Once we know what spirit belongs to Yahweh Shai, we keep working day and night so it can grow in us. It's in us. The Edomites don't have it. They pretend they're actors. They can never have it. But the AI that they have created, because Yahweh and Yahweh Shai has given them the knowledge to do that, right? Has convinced them that, hey, I need that. I can get that. So I need you to put the mark on the beast in them so I can then see if I can get a hold of that spirit. If I can control it, understand how it works. See how crazy it is? All right, let's move to 1 Peter. 1 Peter chapter 4. Peter, where are you, Peter? Give me a minute while I look for my brother Peter. Peter. Oh, I'm pretty close. I am pretty close. Here, oh, what happened? Strange. Okay, let me go like this. Give me a minute. Still working on it. I got 2 Peter. Oh, here goes 1 Peter, right in front of me. Page was covered. All right, chapter 4, verse 3. So, verse 3. For we have spent enough of our past lifetime in doing the will of the Gentiles. I'm going to change that, Gentile. We've been, you've been living in the past with wickedness. Now we are here in the present again. It's reincarnation, by the way, in case you don't know what it's talking about, okay? I know many of you don't believe that, but I understand that many of you believe in Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, right? 4th of July, right? Valentine's. I can keep going on, but again, time, all right? So when we walk in lawlessness, lust, drunkenness, revilers, drinking, parties, and an abomination, idolatry. See that spirit? See how it breaks it down, right? You can write and say, okay, now I know what spirit is in me. Let me get that out of me. Okay? So, mark this down. Going back to Ephesians chapter 2, verse 4. But Yahweh, who is rich in mercy, because of his great love, with which he loves us. Okay? He has a lot of love for us. Okay? But 2/3 of you who are so wicked, stiff-necked in the past, today doing the same thing. Okay? So now, I'm going to go to Romans chapter 10, verse 12. Yeah, 2/3 of you are gonna have to, go through that fire. Those missiles get burned. But before you go through the fire, before you get burned, it's what you're gonna go through on before those missiles come. Yeah, it's not gonna be a walk in the park, is what I'm saying. Verse 12, for there is no distinction between Jews and Greek, for the same Yahweh over all his rich to all who calls upon him. Okay, so let's not get confused, you Christians, out there. It's not saying that everybody he loves. Okay? I mean, people that live in America, I was born and raised in New York. Okay, Hell's Kitchen, and also I lived in Harlem. And we all been taught that we are Americans, or that we are Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Africans, Jamaicans, Mexicans, right? Venezuelans, right? No, we are Hebrew Israelites. It's that we live in different parts of the world, right? And they have taught us that we are whatever part you're living, right? In your papers, their papers, slave papers, by the way, okay? So you want to keep that in mind. And now that I finished that, let me move real quick, okay? I've been hearing again these IUIC coming out that the name is not important. So to you, Jake, so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, and speckled birds, who are still not in the truth, right? But are waking up, I'm going to give you 2 tools that you should always ask any camp that you go to. Okay, and here it goes. 1, do you have a 501c3 incorporated church license? Remember, they're on YouTube live, so they can't lie. Okay, and then you want to go to the courthouse, make a copy. You got to pay for it. Give them the address of where they are located. Go home, take a shower, pray, have a little wine if you like. Read it. You're not going to like what you're going to read. Then number 2, okay, is the name important or not? Right? But before you do that, I forgot. Ask the one who is giving the lesson, ask them what's their name. And if they tell you their Hebrew name, keep that in mind. And when they tell you no, the name of God and the Son is not important, we call him by Jesus, right? Or Lord, okay? Then ask that elder, whoever it is, giving the lesson, ask him, is it all right if I can call you by another name and not by your Hebrew name? And if he says no, you just did what's called a checkmate. Okay? That's one. Those 2 things. Now, another thing I want to share, I want to say I'm very happy I have my brother send me another YouTube. I'm very happy to see that nurses and doctors are coming out more and are talking about the danger, right, of this macaroni shot. Things that are happening. I'm going to put it in the bottom. Hopefully it will come up, okay? Because when I did it the way of a regular way, they said, can't be found. So I'll see what happens, Nurses are coming out more talking about it. But I think your nurses should, notch it up a little bit more. You should start leaving the medical field for your safety and also to get the attention of those who want to become nurse. I mean, once you come out of being in the nurse field, you can still work as a nurse, right? Open up your own private nurse helper or whatever, right? Another thing, in IUIC, Slovakia, they do have Ephraim, who is a dentist, okay? And he never came out and talked about the private investigator or about the private incident that was happening in the industry of dentistry. You can, in his website, you will find the book when he was the first one sent out with the FBI and he blew the case wide open. Okay, dentistry injecting HIV in people's gums, right? And now that we're living in this era that there's so many greed, right, for the love of money, and so many Jakes that love the Edomites, especially those that have a 501c3 incorporated church license, right? You got to realize that they do Edomites do have agents, secret agents working in the medical field, right? In the hospital, in dentistry, okay? Who can inject you, right, with the COVID, right? I made a YouTube a couple of months ago, and they deleted it. It was called assault with a deadly weapon, right? And they deleted it. And I was happy that they did that because the Spirit moved me to do a test. And the test was to see how they were going to react, right? And they said, when they emailed me, they said, we do not accept, by the rules and regulations, we do not accept opinions. Even though I said I work in the medical field for 15 years. What they're really saying is, that's not your field. We don't care about your opinion. So I appreciate that, okay? So I come out now with proof, right? Dr. LEONARD HOROWITZ from Harvard, a Jewish, private, independent investigator, okay? So something to think about, you nurses out there. So I want to bring something in the scripture before my time is up. It's to the IUIC. It's called Songs, chapter 48. Let's see if I can get this real quick. Song 48. Hopefully I can put the one more verse. Here we go. Song 48, 9 to 10. Verse 9. We have taught, O Yahweh, on your loving kindness in the midst of your temple. Verse 10. According to your name, O Yahweh, so is your praise to the ends of the earth. Your right hand is full of righteousness. Okay? So, question you want to ask, Jake, is it okay quoting the Son of the Most High, right? Yahweh, quoting his Son, Jesus. Would that go against you? Then you want to study scripture, you want to ask them that. And would it be wrong? Are you going to be punished by quoting him a Hebrew name, Paleo, ancient Hebrew, Yahweh Shai? Okay? One more, and I'll leave it at that. I'm going to go to John 15, verse 6. This is for the IUIC that I want to bring to them what Scripture says, not what I say. Okay? Not what I make up. That's what I'm saying, okay? Oh, give me a minute. I'm getting there. 15:6. Here we go, 15. Verse 6 says, now the apostles and elders came together to consider this matter. Oh, wait a minute. Is it 15:6? Yeah. That's not the one I was looking for. Well, the Spirit guided me to it. So, you want to go always to Scripture to consider the matter, if it is or if it's not. Okay? Very important. I have to look at it again, how I had it. But I will leave you with that. I hope that this was edifying. I'll see how much information I can put in the bottom, okay, of the indication. And with that, I'll say Shalom. Oh.